The end of the world. It's coming and it's coming fast. Hi folks, I'm Evangelist Sean Ayers for a brand new show here called Sign of the Times. In this show we talk about the things that are happening in the world today, all the disasters, all the wars, all the rumors of wars, all the famine, everything going on all across the world. We talk about all that and what God has to say about it right in His Word. So sit back, relax, because Sign of the Times starts right now. Hi everyone, I'm Evangelist Sean Ayers and welcome to a brand new show called Sign of the Times. I'm joined by Pastor Richard Dyer of Dyer Times Ministries Incorporated and by Kevin Lauer. In this show we talk about what's going on in the world today in these end times compared to what God talks about in the Bible. We try to take some of the rumors, try to take some of the theories away, and try to line everything up to what God is talking about. So guys, I want to start the show off with talking about this guy that was around a while back, and he was talking about the end of the world. In fact, he had signs up where I work at when I would drive downtown. He would have trucks, and there would be banners and people on the street corners saying the end of the world is coming on this date and this date. And obviously when the day came in May of that day, nothing happened, of course. And unfortunately, the guy, I think he's disappeared now. But for years and years and years, many years, I mean, this goes back to centuries, there's been people saying that the end of the world is coming and coming and coming. So my first question is, can God tell you when the end of the world is coming? Pastor Dyer, what do you think about that?
Well, God could tell you when the end of the world is coming, but apparently He chooses not to. Excuse me. The Word says we will not know the day or the time.
Right.
Not even Jesus knows the day or the time. So God gives us signs in this season that we might recognize that His coming is soon.
Right.
As we listen to the news and listen to those reports, and us call them false reports, then we know that the end is coming soon because the Bible tells us about false prophets and all those things that are to come.
Right.
So as we watch the weather, the seasons, and the circumstances around us, then we know that His time is near. God could have told us the exact day, but He chooses not to because we must stand on our faith in these last days.
Right. And see, that was my thought, because if God tells us exactly the day and the time, then there was a lot of craziness going on when that guy was talking about it. There was a lot of stuff going on. People were taking stuff out of their bank accounts, people quitting their jobs. But if God actually told us in His Word that there was a date and time, then everything leading up to that would just cause total chaos. What are your thoughts on all that, Kevin?
I agree 100%. This gentleman you're speaking of, his name was Harold Camping, and he originally set the date for the rapture on September 6, 1994. And when that didn't come to pass, he revised it later to May 21st, 2011, which was what we were talking about this past year. And then when that didn't come to pass, he revised it once again to October 21st, 2011. And so this kind of date setting and everything and predicting when the world's going to end or when Jesus is coming back has been going on literally for hundreds of years. Basically since he left, people have been predicting the date and the hour that he was going to come back. But as you said, nobody knows the day or the hour. Nobody knows the time, and nobody's supposed to. As it says in Mark 13, of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. And that surprises a lot of people, that even Jesus doesn't know when He's coming back, but that's something that God has reserved for His own knowledge, and it's not for us to know. As you said, yes, God could tell us when Jesus is coming back, but He chooses not to.
And I kind of feel bad for the guy, because I might think that he was maybe mistaught. You know, and that's what happens.
Misled,
we get misled in things, and that happens. Even you have a ministry, and people come into the ministry that has been taught.
Yes,
false
sometimes
teachings.
they have false teachings and things that goes on in their life by other churches and even family members have led them the wrong way, the wrong understanding according to God's Word. And God's word is final regarding his coming.
Yeah.
And Revelation, the book of Revelation, tells us about the end. And as you read the book of Revelation and understand it, then you have a clear picture of what is going to happen in that end times. And we know that we're in that end times, like I said earlier, by the signs of the times.
Right. Right. Now, so here I'm going to throw this at you guys here, and this might be on some of the people who are watching this. This might be a question they may have as well. Is okay. So God can't tell us. God can tell us if He wants to. Don't get me wrong, but it chooses not to. But God can also tell us. He tells us. He told Noah different things. He told Jonah to go and talk to all these people about changing their ways. So He could tell us when the end of the world is, but He chooses not to. But if He could tell other people, other things, why isn't He telling us when this world's going to end?
Well, Kevin, why don't you address that?
Well, I think what you said pretty much a few moments ago pretty much nailed it on the head, is that if we knew the day and the hour that Jesus was going to come back, then what would be the point of living our lives for Him?
Right.
We could just say, well, if Jesus isn't coming back till, say, 20 years from now, I can spend the next 19 and a half years living the way I want to, and then have a last-minute conversion and everything's all right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to go out on a limb today, and I've never considered myself a prophet, and I don't honestly consider myself to be a prophet. But I'm going to offer a prophecy today.
Okay.
This is the first official prophecy of Kevin Lauer, and possibly the last. But I prophesy that the end of the world is going to be tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
From the date that you, right now, are watching this on your TV, or computer, Roku, wherever you're watching this, tomorrow is going to be the end of the world.
Okay.
For over 2,420,000 Americans.
Wow.
You see, what happens is over 2,420,000 Americans die each year.
Oh.
40% of them are sudden deaths. They're unexpected. And so you bring that down, that 6,630 Americans die every day.
Wow.
So the day that you're watching this on your television set, for 6,630 Americans, and that's just in America, that's not even in the whole world.
Right.
But 6,630 Americans approximately die every day.
Wow.
And for them, that is the end of the world. And so these people that are setting the dates for the rapture and the second coming of Christ, it's beside the point. They're missing the point. Is because the world ends for them right then, and Jesus has returned for them.
Wow.
And it's like a song that I had written called "Surprise" that my band Crusade did, and it talks about the end of the world coming for each one of us as individuals, and we have to be prepared for that.
What can we do as Christians? What can we do as Christians to prepare ourselves? Because I've been watching a lot of these different programs and stuff that people are getting ready for the end of the world. I mean, if you look around, like you said a few moments ago, if you look around on this earth right now, there are things happening.
Yes, very definitely.
Just recently, just a couple days ago, there was a big tornado outbreak out in the other states, Kentucky and Nashville and all these different areas. And can that be considered a sign of God's power? I mean, or could that just be...
Well, we've always had tornadoes. We've always had, disasters.
Right.
But it seems like, excuse me again, seems like in these days that they're getting more frequent.
Right. Right.
And the outcome of those disasters should be people turning towards God.
Right.
And just like in 9/11, when that happened, when that event happened, and we were attacked by the enemy, then people turned to the churches. They were going and filling the churches up, and as time went by, the churches became, let's say, empty again, and especially in this day, the attendance in churches across the board is going down.
Yes.
So it tells me that there will be a great falling away according to God's word.